on the board,
yeah,
and he answers the questions.
I think I remember
And the
that.
professor said, "Who did this? Who did this?" And
Oh, yeah, I think I remember that.
so Robin Williams plays a psychologist because this kid gets in fights all the time. He's in and out of juvenile detention. He might go to prison, but they want to try to help him, so he won't go to prison because he has this great math aptitude. Right? So in the program, there's this really cool scene where, since this kid has been hanging around the college, he goes into the library and he reads all this stuff. And he has a photographic memory.
Yeah.
So he can read Shakespeare. He can tell you what page in this math book that formula is on.
Mhm.
You know. But there's a scene where he's out in the park talking to Robin Williams, and he's pretty arrogant about his knowledge. Right? And Robin Williams is talking about the first time he met his wife.
Hmm.
And he's talking about getting to know her. She died of cancer.
Hmm.
In the movie, his wife had been dead for a couple of years. And he was trying to explain the building a relationship. Right? And then all the foibles that come from a relationship, and also traveling around the world. Robin Williams had traveled. This kid had never been out of Boston. He was a townie from South Boston. You know anything about South Boston? The Irish American kids in South Boston were tough. It was a poor neighborhood. You know, they had Irish mafia down. They're pretty tough kids. They played hockey, didn't fight salt. It's kind of like, right? They worked construction, blue collar. So he was a townie from South Boston. But because he had hung out in the library, read all the stuff, he could recite Shakespeare, he knew about history and all. But Robin Williams said, but that's not real knowledge. You know all the stuff, but you haven't done anything. You haven't actually experienced. You know about Da Vinci and the Mona Lisa, blah, 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 but you've never actually seen it. You've never actually gone to Florence, Italy, and walked the streets that you walked and smelled the smells and experienced life. That's what knowledge is. Right? It's not just what's on words. I mean, that's great. Libraries are great. We have books, which is great. But it's just a part of life. And so I thought, I took away from that part of this conversation we're having about AI. AI, brilliant, fast computers, algorithms, reaches into these databases and understands how to take this thing that we use to code to each other, language, and how we've used language to express meaning, right? It's taken that thing and it's mastered it in a certain way. But it hasn't really experienced it. Not in a physical way that we experience life. So, could it really be sentient?
What do you mean by sentient?
Sentient, having completely self-aware of what it is and where it fits in the world. That's the question that's being asked. Because well, I'll ask you guys, do you think, and I'm not sure who's attending remote. Is that Hughes? I think it's Hughes. But the question is, no, it's okay. The question is, we'll talk about this is more operational. I'm going to get into this philosophical question. Do you believe that AI is sentient? That AI has become self-aware? It understands itself. And it understands itself in context to the world around it.
Yes.
You think it has?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go into a little bit why, but when you think AI is sentient and understands itself in relation to the world around it, you could say you don't know. That's a perfectly honest answer.
It's more like I don't know if I know.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're looking lot of people find it helpful. Sometimes I find it helpful because there's things that the search engine don't do,
Right.
but AI does, and it's like looking at it from a different angle. So it's like,
Okay.
yeah, so it's good, but it's bad.
What do you think? Do you think it's sentient?
I think I have to say 50-50, like no or yes. I say no because, you know when you tell a kid, like, you give them an equation, and a super hard equation, but they can repeat it, you keep on repeating it to them, and they're like, oh yeah, I can say it. Put it under the table, and they'll say it again. I'm thinking that's what AI is, like, we're giving it so much information, it's just spitting it back out.
Does it really, is that knowing?
Yeah.
Is that knowing?
Yeah, but
Now,
she's talking about one part of it. Though. That's just one little part, though. There's so much other parts that it is self-aware because you're gonna tell it to do something and it's able to make any kind of decision that it wants.
But
So it
it's not
has to be
self-aware.
aware of its surroundings and what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it boiled down to how we define awareness?
I would say that. That was my next thing I was going to tell you. You have to define what you call awareness. So.
Okay, well that's, because from my perspective, I'm not sure one way or the other yet. Because there is this generative, there's kind of two basic AIs that right now are being promoted by all the tech companies and all these guys. One is the large language models. So large language model basically is massive databases where the AI interprets your prompt. What did you ask? Then it goes through all these databases to answer your question. And it understands the English language very, very, very well, or French or Spanish or Vietnamese, whatever. Understands language as a coding structure that we human beings have used to communicate with each other. It understands that. And through trial and error, right? Because you were mentioning you can ask ChatGPT the same question, and you get a different answer.
That wouldn't be self-aware. That would just be
It's going through
Going
the
through
language
data.
models,
yeah.
right? And it's trying to give you an answer that you will accept. But it doesn't know whether you like it or not or will accept it or not. It's just responding back to it. It's responding to stimuli. It's reading, it's understanding the code, language, and it's giving you back. And if you ask it again, the algorithm probably says you weren't satisfied with the initial response. So I got to respond again. You keep asking it the same question, it's going to go back and go into the code, language, shuffle everything around until it gives you something that satisfies you, or you move on. Or you may even, do you prompt it back with feedback? You said, hey, thanks, that was a good answer. Or not. But, okay, see? So, but how does it weigh that response? Because human beings, if I do something, and my friends, my wife, or somebody says, they give me positive reinforcement, right? Tell me, hey, that was great. There's a feeling that comes from that, the positive reinforcement, that I get. I get a sense of validation, maybe a sense of closeness to that person, right? Does AI get that? We don't, yeah, right? But for humans, that's real important to be validated. So when you guys, we do this all the time. You can even do it at the grocery store. You're putting your stuff there as a checkout person. If you say hello and they look up at you and smile, there's a connection that's made. If they're just like ringing the stuff up and they never look up and never say good morning, it's kind of off-putting. Yeah, you'll still do the transaction. You'll still give them the money, right? Somebody will bag your groceries. bag of yourself, but the transaction still goes through, but you don't feel something positive about that transaction. But it's funny, because you get groceries, what are you there for? You're there for your groceries, right? That's what you're there for. Right? And you pay them the money, because that's the transaction. But it's a different experience if they look up and smile and say, "Hi, how you doing?" Or, sometimes make a little small talk. "Hey, the Astros beat the so-and-so last night. Yeah, it was a great game." Right? You start that small. Now the connection's more of a human connection. And you feel better when you leave. And you might actually go back to that grocery store if you have good experiences like that. Or if you can't find something, come up to somebody and say, "Hey, where's the mayonnaise?" Right? "Oh, it's over on aisle so-and-so." Right? So you had a human interaction. Now you could do that if you had some kind of app. Where's the mayonnaise, right? And they go to aisle 4, right? But it's a different interaction than when you're dealing with a human being. And for most of our lives, we were kind of trained to deal with human beings. To a certain extent. Now we're having a generation where more and more they're being trained to deal with machines and not humans. And the AI is going to get better. You ever seen those this is real big in Japan, the little robot dogs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You heard about
Yeah.
They're connected to AI.
Yeah.
And it's not like they have a supercomputer inside. They have a chip inside that sends to a main supercomputer. So this is pretty scary. So the dog walks around your apartment or your house, and it gets to know where everything is, and its eyes are the cameras.
Mm-hmm.
So it's letting the central computer take pictures of everything, and it also looks at your face. So they're trying to get the little robot dog to understand when you're happy or sad, or you're upset, and it'll respond by if you're sad, it'll come up to you and do like a real dog does.
That's why I love Louis Megan. So
Yeah.
awesome.
Right.
Yeah. Very creepy, but.
Okay, see, I didn't have that listed. I'll tell you which ones I've listed, and we'll watch clips of them. Right? So, it's learning about each individual. These doggies are, people in Japan are buying these dogs, and a lot of times they're buying them for older relatives.
Mm-hmm.
Japan is the most rapidly aging society in the world. And a lot of families, it's like your grandma, here's this little robot dog, your companion, right? And you're like, the dogs are getting better. Because the models, the algorithms are training, and they learn by looking at the facial expression and what people say, because people are starting to talk to these robot dogs, although it's supposed to be dogs, so they don't talk back. But it does understand language.
It probably could in the future, though.
Yell at it.
It probably could in the future, though.
Right.
Yeah.
No, they don't want it to.
Really?
The guy who designed it said, no, we want it to be like a real dog.
No.
Your dog will never talk.
But they could make something else that
Right.
could, though.
But
Yeah.
that's a different deal. They have
Yeah.
No, they want it to be as dog-like as possible.
Mm.
The only thing it does, crap on your car doors.
No food need.
And then I have to go to the vet, right? Or
No
all
food.
But you can take them walking. You can walk your little robot dog.
Oh my God.
So it's an AI application. It communicates with a big supercomputer. All have a little segmented part where that computer understands what you want, or what you want, or what you want, or what I want. So this dog will respond differently because you've cued it differently. Then this other dog will respond to you because you've cued it a certain way. If they switch the dogs, right, the dog will have to learn the difference between you. Because it'll respond, it'll be confused at first, it'll respond the way it usually responds to you. But that may not work.
So it might bite the other owner out.
So it's pretty complicated, right? There's a lot going on there. So I think we talked about AI down here about, I don't know if we talked about this, yeah, copyright. This is becoming a big deal because a lot of companies, right, want to have AI do what humans do, write scripts. You know, that was the big thing for the actors and the screenwriters to go on strike.
Yeah.
They're scared to death of this.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, I got family out in LA, right? So just about all my family's out there. They were here, all out there. And I have a really good friend, actually it's my brother's best friend, but we still stay in touch. My brother passed away from the so one of his best friends, who I've known ever since I was anyway, he's in the movie industry. Not a big time guy. There's a lot of people out there who, you know, they made documentaries or they made independent movies or they wrote a script. He's now doing stand-up. He did stand-up for a while. He married his wife did stand-up and she passed away. And he went in, he did both sides of the camera. He had big parts, but he started getting more into the production side. And so now, as an old guy, he's doing stand-ups, he's loving it, he's writing jokes, trying it out and all that. But he's in that industry. This stuff scared them to death. He said everybody was freaking out. Oh my God. Because they rid of all the screenwriters and the editors and all these people. He said they're already having an issue with, you know, you can pay them. People make movies with their iPhones. Complete movies.
Sure.
With their iPhones. And think about how many people, technical people there were in the industry who were making movies. Cameramen, editors, the guys who hold the cube ribbon and all that kind of stuff. Funny so when I go to a movie with this guy, when the movie's over, you can tell LA people, they stay through all the credits.
No way.
Because they're looking for people they know.
Mm.
And he'll tell me, oh, I know that guy, and I know this person.
Wow.
So, you know, and I thought this only makes sense, right? That's how they get validated. Hey, I work on this movie, and of course, their resume, I work on this movie, I work with this guy, blah, blah, blah. So when AI was coming up, they thought this is it, it's going to kill the industry, all of us are going to be out of the job. And that's why they said the strike was so important to do it before they could be replaced by AI, before the industry. And then this happened. There was a lawsuit, and the copyright office said, hey, guess what? You generate scripts, movies, blah, blah, blah with AI, you can't get a copyright because it can't be protected. People can pirate it, it's open source. The movie companies went,
Yeah.
right? So you all remember James Earl Jones, right? He's an actor. James Earl Jones, he's an African-American actor, did the voice for Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Okay, so he just passed away.
Yeah.
But he put in his will that his family can use his voice
That's cool.
for the future. But anybody that uses voice has to pay his family as if he was still alive as an actor.
Wow. That's cool.
Right? And so his voice, and they're in negotiations to use his voice. It'll be computer altered generated, but because he wrote this in as well, and his family's going to get money, and he said it's okay to use his voice.
Yeah.
So the copyright is going to go to his family. But they're already in negotiations. This is where it's going to get really interesting. So some of the big actors in the past, Humphrey Bogart, Rock Hudson, all those studios are in negotiations with the people that have the rights to their intellectual property, family, or whatever, to see if they can sign contracts with them to do CGI and to bring those old actors and cast them in new movies.
It's true. Yeah.
So you're going to have new movies with the new actors, but you might have Rock Hudson in a role.
Yeah, they did that with Fast and Furious. and they did it with his brother.
Yeah. So, this is going to be, we're gonna see these movies with these old actors, right?
Coming to
Actors
life,
and
yeah.
actresses, and new people together in movies where part of it's gonna be computer generated, part of it's gonna be live action, it's all gonna be mixed together. We have the technology to do
Yeah. They're also downloading people's DNA into like a chip or something, and then they want to make it into like a robot. The family can continue to talk with them even after they died.
that. There was an interesting, it wasn't so much DNA, so there was a woman who actually, I don't know if I told this stuff, but anyway, there's this woman, she's an influencer, whatever that means.
Oh my god. You just say influencer? Oh my.
You know, I mean, you know, hey, she's making money.
Okay,
so I
Eric,
can-
okay, Eric.
You know, okay, if I'm making a lot more money than I am, but anyway, but that really means nothing to me.
Oh my god.
I understand it's a new economy. So I look at this stuff as a new emerging economy. But she's in there, and she had a partner, a longtime partner, and they worked together. They had a YouTube channel, vloggy thing, right? He died suddenly, and I think he was killed in a car accident where I think he was riding a bike and his car hit him and killed him. So she totally freaked out. Didn't handle the grief very well. So what she did is she developed an AI algorithm to go through all of their emails, their phones, their videos, everything, and reconstruct it. Right? Through all of these, it's AI. And so she talks to them every day. AI comes up and it answers questions, they have conversations and all that. So in a way, to her, he's not dead.
Yeah.
Then she realized, you know, maybe other people would like that. So she started a company where you can pay to bring back grandma or wife or husband or child. It'll go into all these databases. You have to get a legal release saying you're okay with her doing this. You pay her a fee and a subscription.
Of course, yeah.
Right? And then she will bring back whomever so you can have conversations with them and all this kind of stuff. What do y'all think about that?
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
I don't think that could be good for, like, psychologically. They're not there, you think they're there, then you'll wonder where they are, you know. I don't know how to get that.
I don't like it. There's always glitches, and then if they say the wrong things, like, remember stuff like that before. So it's like,
I never thought of that as.
yeah, I don't think it would work properly. I mean, yeah, you gotta work on it. It's like Fold 4, it still has its problems today.
Right.
They're still bringing out new phones, but it's
Right.
like, you're not working on the problem.
Yeah.
There's gonna be problems with that device. I mean, with
Right.
that whole program.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't think so. I don't know.
What do you say?
Okay, so I got two answers. So one of them, I don't know about her model, you know, but it has to be done while someone's alive. So you're able like to put all your DNA and all this stuff into a computer, and then that will act like you. You'll have the same voice, same memories, everything will be the same. So what she's talking about could actually be.
All you need is the voice and the face.
Well, yeah. So
and
that's
all the
so.
other stuff.
So her concern is about their mistakes, right?
Right.
But with the one that I'm talking about, it wouldn't have those mistakes because you'll have all the memories, all everything with it because it's connected with your brain through frequencies and they do whatever they're gonna do. So that would probably like stop any problems that she has. But and then I would say yes, it is a good thing for people that are like. Some people commit suicide because they don't have their friends. And whatever it is, even if it's just a picture or whatever, and it's something, that's something someone can hang on to. So I wouldn't find a problem with it.
So, you know, see, these are, we never had to ask these questions before, right? This wasn't a thing 10 years ago that we would have to even consider. Now, this woman's making a business out of this thing. And she said she's got more work, so she's hiring staff. Because all these people want to bring back
Yeah,
loved ones,
of course.
right? Now, there's a bunch of psychologists saying these people are never going to deal with their grief. They're never going to move on. Psychologically, they're going to kind of be stuck in this world with this relationship. That person's really dead, right? But they're in their mind, they're thinking that they're alive because they have their image, their voice, they can communicate back and forth. So, but they're not sure what the long-term impact of that kind of relationship is going to be. Nobody knows yet. We're in this kind of nether world of like, okay, so what's going now? There is this whole thing about transhumanism. I think you alluded to it. Transhumanism is the notion that we will soon be able to download our consciousness, all our memories, onto a chip and put it in a computer and then build a computer simulation, right? That will look like the life that we led, right? And live in that simulation, right?
Yeah, it reminds me of
There was a
Black
movie with
Mirror.
Johnny Depp. Oh yeah, okay.
Black Mirror. I thought of Black Mirror when you said that, and in that episode, he was able to rewind. And the thing is, when he was able to rewind, he saw things he didn't want to see. So, it was
Wow.
marriage.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so he saw memories, he saw, yeah, this past year is not seeing Black Mirror, we're talking
No,
about
I
AI.
mean, I think
Yeah.
we need to talk about this.
No,
because
it's good, it's just, it's a lot of AI.
So Miss Kelly over here, she's ready.
What? No. Hey, no, don't talk about me, man.
DNA, and next thing you have a robot answer all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it reminds
No,
me.
but this is, people are looking for opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, so this lady took her grief, she was inconsolable, about the loss of her partner, but she had these skills, the right code, she had all this, and she thought, well, maybe, you know, what started out as a way to deal with her grief and her loss, will not deal with it as a case of life. Now all of a sudden she's developed this business, and other people have made the decision, hey, I want to bring back grandma or whatever, right? I want to hold on to those memories. Like years and years and years ago, was this deal that started happening where people and their dogs and cats would, remember they would freeze them, or they would make stuffed animals out of their dogs and cats, taxidermy.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, but they were starting to use this freeze-dry process. So if your dog or cat died, if you could get them to these facilities within like a few hours, they would do this flash freeze and drying thing, which was a lot more authentic than taxidermy. And people were doing this. And it was a big fad for a while, and then it kind of went away. I mean, there's still a few people who might do that, but those people, nah, just get rid of the dog. Or, you know, mourn the dog, go ahead to the funeral, right? And then move on. So the question is, are we making it difficult for people psychologically to move on? I don't know.
It's a double-edged.
It sure is.
Yeah, personally on the fence on it, because honestly, it's a human thing to do, to grieve.
Right.
I think it's the 5 steps.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, to grieve, to be in denial, and acceptance.
Right.
So it's, yeah, I get it, AI is the new thing, and it's so cool, and it's very profitable, but at the same time, is it really helping the person?
So these are questions that this new technology is forcing us to ask and try to find answers to. Now, 30 years ago, there was no question for this. Now, I should say that, remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but 20, 30 years ago, who were terminally ill, there was a service out there where they would freeze. You heard about this?
No.
They freeze you. They have these cryogenic services. They freeze you in the hope to thaw you out years and years and years in the future after medical science had come up with a cure for whatever. But the way the law was, you had to wait until someone coded, right? They had to be legally dead before you could freeze them.
What?
Because the fear was, if people thought they were going to die and they freeze them before they actually clinically died, you're in essence killing them. Right? So you had to wait until they did. So they had these people who go to these facilities and be hooked up with all machines. As soon as they died, there was a doctor there, signed a death certificate, okay, they're dead. Then they rush them into the cryo chamber and they would freeze them.
And then what happened?
There's still people
They're still frozen?
sitting in cryo chambers, and their estate has to continue to pay to keep them frozen.
Oh
People-
my
very
God.
people do this. And then there was a big battle a few years ago where this family said, we don't want to continue paying this money because it's draining the assets of this family member, and we want our piece, and we don't think this will ever work. So they were fighting in court, and they ended up losing because the judge said, no, these were the final wishes of this person, and it was their money. So if they want all their money to go to this, that's their best. It was their money, but that was their last wish. So tough nookies, right?
So what happens when the money is up then?
Well, when money's up,
They unthaw him?
no, they can shut the thing off.
They unthaw him,
they're
yeah.
dead. Because it's if they were already dead. It's not like the company was killed. They're already dead. The company goes out of business. And another thing, what if the company goes out of business?
How much does it cost to, like,
I've never
machines
looked
they
into
use to
it.
get
So it's very expensive, but only extremely wealthy people. Yeah, look it up. Look it up. Tell us how much this costs, right? So we're entering this technology. I thought this was interesting. Albert Speer said inside the Third Reich. He was concerned back in 1970. He talked about Nazi Germany and how technologically advanced Nazi Germany was in a lot
Yes,
of ways.
they were.
One of the most technologically advanced countries in the world. They do a lot of good things, do a lot of terrible, horrible things. So this idea that if you just have great technology, you'll have a great society and make you better.
No.
No. You can also have great abuse.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then of course this is my guy, Max Tetmark. I would recommend going to the Future of Life Institute. He's one of the people writing that letter saying we got to slow down. What you call it?
$28,000.
A year?
I don't know if that's monthly or something.
I
It's more. You risk it, but
no. I mean, sometimes you gotta go.
Yeah.
It's all right.
28,000, you gotta go.
Sometimes you gotta go.
Eric, no, Eric.
Yeah. So what if the company goes out of business? What are they gonna just throw you out in the curbs?
Unthaw you. That's it. Unthaw you, put you in the
Tell
ground.
the family company come up.
Yeah. That's so bad, Eric.
Be here by noon.
No, Eric.
And then, when they start going out, there's gonna be water all over the place.
Oh my God. Dead water, huh?
It's like, oh, no. We don't want to. So, anyway, we're dealing with technology on a level we've never dealt with.
Yeah.
So, then we talked a little bit about China, the United States. Kai-Fu Lee, he's a big advocate for basically having, now the Chinese, different political culture in the United States, right? So the United States, individuals have rights.
Yeah.
And the government basically has very little power to infringe upon those rights. It's written in the Constitution. Private companies have a lot more power than the government does in a lot of areas because it's mentioned in the Constitution. So they can kind of do whatever they want, except if Congress passes a law saying, no, stop that. So, but in China, all the data it's collected by whom? The Chinese government said, we want it. And we're gonna train our AI on it. So this guy, Kai-Fu Lee, he thought there was gonna be this arms race between the United States and China on AI. He said China's gonna win because their algorithms is gonna feed off of more data. They're gonna have more data because the Chinese government can give them access to that data.
Yeah.
Whereas there'll be a restriction in the United States on what data. I don't think he's right for this point. I don't think it's been proven that just having more data means you're gonna have better outcomes. It's the quality of the data you have, yeah.
Oh, no, Eric. Okay, so if you have data and then you also have the more ability to use that data, then you're able to have a better outcome. As for America, they restrict everything. You can't do this, can't do this, can't do this, can't. So you can't try anything, so you won't find out anything, so you can't. You see, it's
They're
different.
not restricting. In the U.S., our private companies have made enormous advances with the data that they have, and they have access to. I look at it this way. I still do not believe that just having more data makes for better outcomes. And I'll tell you why. It's sort of like, so let's get away from computers and let's talk about human interaction and say, writing or imagination. If just having more experiences, traveling more, seeing more stuff, means that you're necessarily going to be a better writer, then what accounts for, like, Emily Dickinson, who's one of the greatest poets. She spent most of her life cloistered in her own room, looking out her window, just using her imagination. The literary world is full of reclusive writers who don't really get out, they don't travel, but it's all imagination and feeling and all that, and so they write all this great stuff. So I'm just not convinced. You might be right. We would agree with you. We just got to feed the monster. We just got to throw more data at these algorithms.
I think,
let them
yeah.
kind of go where they want to go with it. Right?
Yeah, and I think that is because you are dealing with a computer, not dealing with a human. So with the computers, you have to speak to them in their language, and their language is data.
So we see what's going on between the United States and China right now, and we can't leave out the Europeans, Japan, right? They're all involved. Everybody's heading in their own direction, building their own databases, also pulling information out of other databases. So it's the EU, the GDPR, and you guys wrote about this, right? The Europeans have decided, wait, we got to put some controls, we got to put some guardrails. So the Europeans have given European citizens greater control over their data, greater control over their persona, even to the point of opting out, saying, I'm out of here. You know, I don't want my data to be used, right? So the Europeans have kind of gotten ahead on that. Of course, the United States we're still debating. And big tech has used up so much data that they're using synthetic data. You know what that is?
Yeah.
And that creates weird outcomes. So this is a big question. This guy, Lawrence Lessig, who wrote a book called Code is Law. It's an older book, but the smallest typeprint I've ever seen.
Yeah, I remember that.
You barely read the thing. But it's interesting he's a lawyer by profession, but he's a lawyer who's gotten steeped in technology. That's his kind of his. And he talks about that the algorithms themselves create the guardrails, and that the algorithms are going to be what defines the scope of human action in the world. Because we're always engaging things through a digital medium, right? Everything we do, we buy our stuff on the computer. And it's going to get more like that. I was thinking about this the other day with my wife and I. This restaurant, and it said the cashless. It you see this all over.
Yeah,
people in
something.
Cashman.
Yeah.
And I didn't even want to try to get into the big argument, how can we do that, cash doesn't legal tender, blah, blah, blah. So I'm gonna write a letter to the Department of Treasury and
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You would be the one, Eric, got to do that.
Yeah, I know.
You would have been the one to do it too.
Violating federal
Yeah.
law, But anyway, so more
my
and
God.
more what we're gonna see is that if you're gonna be in society,
Mhm.
you're gonna have to do it through some sort of digital medium, right? After a while, I can see the day when virtually no one will take cash anymore, except cash will be used in the underground, because cash is not traceable.
They move
And
it to
they don't
gold.
build a database.
They might go back to gold.
Transaction.
You don't think they go back to gold?
Nah.
No?
We're gonna carry it.
Right, no.
If you got it, somebody's gonna conk you in the head.
Yeah, I guess so.
No, I'm just kidding, but I can see where we're starting to get people in the technology that are connected, there's gonna be people on the outside. There are two economies that are kind of side by side.
Now, I can use my watch to have as my scan
Right.
or my phone to
Yeah.
scan it. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
I see that, I see that people log up, they put their little phone on something,
yeah.
and I'm like,
You-
no.
You've never done it? So you have a credit card.
Not on my phone.
So you have a credit card. You use
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and
It's the same
keep
thing?
it- But I keep it in a, chamber,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's got a little, so it doesn't broadcast outside.
It's I can still get it, Eric. I can still get it, Eric.
Not while it's there. So, but what we're gonna find is that people will engage technology on different levels.
Yeah.
Your generation's going to be all in. Right, with technology. Some people, I've got older people who are like, oh my God. So I did a talk. I've actually been asked to do talks on cybersecurity at retirement homes.
Mm. Wow.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
It's good to teach. Yeah, you need to teach the educator. Yeah.
Because what'll happen?
They have nightmares after
is
you.
Somebody at the, will hear that either a friend of theirs, someone else, had been pig butchered. They have been, and that's really not so much a technical hack against their computer. It's a confidence scheme
Mm-hmm.
where, somebody emailed them, oh, my mother went to your high school.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me blah, blah, blah. Well, a person went online, went to the high school, you get your, what do they call those things? Yearbook. Went to a yearbook, found some names, started sending emails to these different people.
Mm-hmm.
And then all they need is one. They want to say, oh yeah, my mother told me, oh, you were, put some pictures together. You were in so-and-so club, right? Yearbook's got this club and that club, and you, oh yeah, my mother told me, oh yeah. The relationship gets going, sending stuff back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then, my mom passed away a few years ago, but she talks so highly of you, it's like, okay. And then after a while, I said, she's so nice that we have this relationship. And of course, it's a fake persona they created. They use guys sometimes make an image or whatever. I said, where are you living? They find out more information about the person. And of course, this is a lonely older person whose kids don't ever come around. You not your kids visit your family.
I know, right?
Right? You don't visit grandma, right? You know what? You raise your own kids. So grandma's out there. Grandpa died. Grandma's alone. All her friends start dying. When we start getting old, start going to funerals. So when I was in my 20s and 30s, I went to a lot of weddings.
Mm.
Then I went to a lot of christenings.
Mm-hmm.
Right? People having babies. Now I'm starting to go to funerals.
Oh my God.
Or if I go to christening, it's sometimes grandkids' christening.
Mm.
Or kids that were babies when I was young, now they're, you know, and I go to their way system. So grandma's lonely, and this person's talking or sending her picture. This is, hey, you know, if they get to know you, I'll let you in on this wonderful opportunity. There's this investment. Are you going to be okay? Are you going to have, is your savings last? What if you live another 20 years? You live another 10, 15 years? Your savings last? Well, I don't know. Well, I got this investment opportunity I'd like you to, right? I'd like to let you know. Can't tell a lot of people. And start writing checks. Like start upload your account to this funds transfer to this account, and we'll put it in.
We'll invest it every month.
And maybe no, they start getting them some dividends. And they think, oh, this is good. This
More.
8%, 9%, 10%.
Send more.
It's 4.5%, 5%.
More, yeah.
So send more, send more, send more.
All that money you send is going to come back to you
Before
anyway.
you know it, they get ghosted.
Yeah. It's over
Trying to
with.
get in touch, that account table, where's my money? The money's gone. So they had a lady with $5 million in. And what start losing, they don't want to tell their family. Too
Shame.
family's gonna just blow ahead with this. So a couple to speak to these, and I tell speak, but I would like you to have other family members there too.
That's good. That's smart.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Don't just have me on there, you know, with the sea of white hair,
All right.
walkers and everything, talking to them. I want their sons,
Yeah.
daughters, and grandkids there in
To
the
hear,
room.
yeah, what's going on.
And I say, loneliness is a vulnerability because they're hacking the people. Not you can put the best antivirus, you can do it.
Yeah.
They're hacking the person.
Yep.
Human nature hasn't changed that much. It hasn't in a long time. Right? People are lonely. Somebody reaches out to them, but they don't listen.
Yep.
And these people are willing to spend weeks building that relationship before they set the trap.
Even years. I've seen up to years.
That's what they do. So, you know, we have AI being sold to everybody in the world. You hear all the commercials like AI this, everybody's AI. Small businesses are buying this stuff. They don't know because people are investing in it. I had somebody tell me, you work for a large oil company, and I ain't going to tell you who it was, but they were going to get rid of all these engineers. And they were going to have AI take over and do all this stuff instead. They're currently doing it. And so, this guy's kind of conversation. What are you doing? Well, we can save money. And this company told us, oh, you can get rid of engineers. AI will do it. We just need a couple people trained on how to use the AI. They'll train us on this contract. Said, hey, have you seen this stuff work before? Has it? Who are these people, right? And, you know, some of these engineers, we've worked through our organization for years. We've invested a lot of money in their training. They're loyal to the company. Good, they've produced results for years. We're just going to throw them out for this untested algorithm from this company we don't know anything about? Are you That's not what you do. Let's get a small group, bring in, sign a small company, have them use it as a tool.
Yeah.
And see if it's viable. So, okay. And then say, what's really driving this? And I said, one of the VPs of the company said, hey, if you don't say you're using AI, stock value goes down.
It's true.
Because investors want to know. So, if you use AI, they also want to see that you're reducing.
No way.
You're firing people.
No.
And that's what investors want.
Investors want that?
Yeah.
Why?
they think the company's gonna perform better and they're stopping.
Without people and, oh, wow.
No, that's what he was told.
That's a new one.
So they found out all kind of problems with the AI. They were getting crazy hallucinations. Bad. And the guy came back and said, "We're so glad we didn't get rid of all this
Yes.
stuff." And so they decided to break that contract and find another company that had a little bit more of a reputation. But I was going to use it as a tool, not to replace all the engineers. So this is really cool. So Kathy O'Neill is like, you can go online. I don't know if I put that studio, but she does a TED talk. She's got blue hair. She's like a mathematician. Kind of an interesting person, but she is attacked. And she wrote the most all weapons of math destruction. She's talking about the tyranny of algorithms. That we've given over so much of our decision making to algorithms, and a lot of them are terribly flawed. They elicit bad decisions because you know what they say about data, garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
And we often have assumptions that we've written into these algorithms that are faulty.
Yes.
Right? Faulty assumptions. And one of the things they keep finding, and there's a woman at MIT named Julia Louise, and she encoded bias. And she said that a lot of the social science algorithms have coded or taken data that was flawed because it was misogynistic or racist or whatever, right? So it's just perpetuating biases. And people will say, it's not me, it's a computer. Not me. The computer said it. Right? In fact, you know, the sad cases where people have been arrested for recognition software.
Yes. Yeah.
Facial recognition software in the earlier iteration, really inaccurate the darker your skin. So some people were being arrested. Aha, facial recognition, you're this criminal. And the computer said, well, wait a minute. You know, I have alibis. Like I was working at the time, this crime happened. And all the people I worked with said, yeah, he was here. And still arrested him.
Yeah.
And then you know, the like, well, we got a problem because the person that he was, that person's actually in another state. And, you know, the computer made a mistake on facial recognition. And if you showed two pictures of most people, said, oh, yeah, well.
The same little bit, yeah.
Similar. So one guy ended up job because he was in prison 10 days before he could get out. But his lawyer said, we're suing. He ended up getting a settlement. I think at $1.3 billion he got. But he said it was the scariest thing in the world. You know, he had an airtight alibi, he had friends, he had co-workers. No. The dude was, and he discounted all of that and went with
The algorithm, yeah.
And the reason they just, oh, you're those are your.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
They're all lying.
They're gonna cover for you, yeah.
But the computer is 100% accurate all the time.
No.
There can be no error there. So more and more they're looking at this stuff and saying, you know, we gotta be careful how we deploy this stuff. And it needs to be over and over. So if you go token bias, I think it says
Yeah, we watched.
she's actually come up with that audits algorithms and looks for flaws. So they get together and they look for the flaws because they said, oh, what the problem is. The problem is the data that was trained in these facial recognition overwhelmingly was trained on
See, not enough there.
not the right kind of
That's
food, right?
exactly.
So it was making all these mistakes.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna tell you that when I was at the State Department, we used facial recognition for passport photos. It's a database of people who were known criminals or whatever, right? And when we get a hit, we had people that have to go and look, and the failure rate was close to 80%.
Hmm.
Okay, it identified someone as a probable hit, so it's a probable hit, and we had to take it to live people, and they look at it, and say, no, that ain't it.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
We paid all this money for the algorithm.
Hmm.
So you have, remember I went back to say that you have people that are, it's like a gold rush, they're selling AI to everybody. Law enforcement, everybody's buying AI to make decisions for them. I call that the real zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Is when human beings stop making decisions.
Yep.
Right? They don't have any intellectual growth. Because part of intellectual growth is making better decisions or thinking things out, right? Weighing evidence. We've got machines to enforce. We're going to lose some. Hey, you, Charlie, have you been listening? I wonder if you have any comments or thoughts. You guys there? You guys are killing me. Killing me. I mean, what everybody?
I know.
We're getting into the good
stuff.
Right? I'm going to send out an email saying, guys, I'm not happy.
Yeah, I'm not a robot. I'm not happy. Yeah, good. There you go. Yeah, I'm not AI.
Right? A robot wouldn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Hey, this is interesting. AI, intelligent robots, right? It should be in service, not just in. But so 1942, as Isaac Asimov. I don't know if you've ever read any of this. It's brilliant stuff. He was considered like one of the great futurists at the time. Wrote some really, really cool science fiction. I, Robot was based on 3 of his short stories, I think. Right? So Roundabout was the first one. It was a trilogy. He's written several trilogies. One of them's called the Foundation Trilogy. It spans 1,000 years or something, but it's a future of human being and all that. But he was talking about AI going all the way back to the movie Metropolis and robots. So they were really concerned that robots. And so these are Asimov's 3 laws. And you see that in the movie I, Robot, that to society from these robots, which would be physically more powerful, have all this, that the base program, the core program, to have this. He was saying a robot may not, or through inaction, allow a human being to come to home. A robot has to protect them.
They're already not doing that.
A robot must obey orders given it by human beings, except where such orders are law. So you can't order your robot to punch somebody out.
They're already doing that.
So when you say the robot would be controlled by these 3 laws. The third one, a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law. So a robot can defend itself against other robots, but not against a human. Because to defend itself against a human would mean to injure a human being. So Asimov, what do you think of the 3 laws?
I think it's great they're there, but they're already doing it regardless. I mean,
Yeah, when I saw the movie, it was like, okay, that defeats the purpose, but it's a good try.
yeah, exactly. It's good. it sounds great, but it's not happening.
Because Asimov was talking about this back in 1942. What happened in 1945? 3 years ago.
The war.
Boom, we dropped the atomic bomb. So all of the, if you go back and look at a lot of the science fiction, after the Second World War, after the atomic bomb and all the crazy weapons, people were writing their fears into novels. What if this happened? What if that happened? And part of it, not just nuclear weapons, but part of it was, what if we build machines that are smarter than us? So we had the Turing test. You've heard of the Turing test? So Turing was the guy who developed the Colossus. This was a computer that broke the Enigma code of the Turing code. And he said that he believed that at some point robots or AI or machine learning algorithms, you can call it AI, machine algorithms, would be able to fool a person. So if you get a person in front of a computer, right, and you type in your questions and you have a conversation, if the human can't determine that they're talking to another machine, talking to a machine, they think they're talking to a real human, then that means that the AI has passed the Turing test. And so early on, virtually, depending on how questions were asked, it was virtually impossible for the computer to trick a human. Right? But in time, more and more humans were able to be fooled by computers. A lot of it has to do with how questions are asked. And then there was one, I think 2 years ago, where about 80% of the people, they thought they were dealing with a person. And they're thinking that could be up to 90%, that AI can trick about 90% of the people, that they're not dealing with a machine. So, the big fear, superintelligence. Superintelligence, I'm under the, so Tristan Harris and Amy Raskin, if you haven't watched AI Dilemma, I'm going to send out something before we do our next class. Watch. It should be in studio. It's an hour long, but you'll be vivid for an hour. Let's go down time. He said there's when you invent a new technology, you recover a new class of right? It confers power, it starts a race. The guy in China, right? They have an arms race and other countries are getting on. If you do not coordinate, the race ends in tragedy. Coordinate policy, government industry. So the idea is that if everybody's out developing AI, Chinese, the United States, the Russians, Europeans, and we don't coordinate, we don't come up with a standard set of rules to which we all agree, we all abide by, it's going to end up in tragedy because if we know they're breaking the rules, we'll break the rules.
Of course.
And we'll push further, and they'll push further, and before you know it, we've reached superintelligent, where the AI is smarter than us. And the big fear is that what happened a few years ago, I think it was Microsoft, one of the big tech companies was doing a chatbot. They had problems. Microsoft had a test, but the chatbot turned out to be a Nazi. Crazy.
Yeah.
Right, they had to totally trust. So then they came up with, they wanted to test these chatbots. So they had one chatbot talking to another chatbot, supercomputers. And they were monitoring the conversation. And somewhere along the line, the computer developed their own language. And it was a language that humans couldn't understand.
Yep.
Freaked the humans humans out and they pull the plug on the process.
Yeah,
Computers
exactly.
stopped. Because they communicated in their own language.
Yeah,
And it was a really weird language. It didn't follow any of the language conventions that we put and wrote into our own code. And so, until we figured it out, shut down the experiment, and then ask ourselves, what just happened?
yeah.
Because we told them in the original, right, the prompt, original algorithm, to communicate in English.
That was,
It was explicitly told to you must use English to communicate, because we want to be able to what your conversation.
but it didn't say you can't make up your own language either.
Well, they told communicate. So, real quick before, I'm going to throw one other thing in. So, there's a thing called the Royal United Service Institute, sometimes called Chatham House. Chatham House?
Chatham?
Chatham House rules. So, they back in, I think it was 2021, AI convention, and they were talking about use of computers and drones, AI and war. Air Force Colonel Hamilton, there, and he was talking about that they had a simulated where they put the AI on a drone, and the AI to do what's called a SEAD mission, SEAD, suppression of enemy air defense. Drone go out and go blow up this.
Yeah.
And to identify and destroy all these SAM sites. The human had to give the go, no go. The human had to authorize a kill. And they reinforced the AI by giving it points. Just like so the AI got points for missiles. So the AI was out doing the simulation with one SAM sites. But it reached one SAM site and it said, okay, I'm ready to blow it up, waiting for the the go, no go command, and the human said, don't attack.
Don't do it.
And the AI started to question the human. It's like, well, wait a minute, it meets all the mission parameters, and some bad guy, base, either blow it up, the human said no. So what do you think the AI did?
He killed the human.
Yeah, you've heard this story
Yeah.
before. You killed the human, right? So then they trained it again and said, nope, if you kill a human, you lose all your points.
Right.
Communication.
There you go.
So what this tells the Air Force and tells a lot of computer scientists, and I guess we're going to go, is that we can't predict the outcomes even when we write it into the code.
It's true. They can make their own decision.
We can't predict it, especially with generative AI.
True.
So this is where a lot of people are getting a little nervous.
Scary, yes.
So next time, we're going to look at some movie clips. We're going to talk about AI. Anyway, take care, everyone.